Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now December 24th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans around the world have truly been looking forward to what Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Bob Chapek, and George Lucas have in store for this new Star Wars universe that's going to all come together with, of course, new novels, books, comics, TV shows, and movies that are really going to pretty much become one into this new universe as a whole. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So it's even all the more exciting now is that not only are we getting very close to the release of the Book of Boba Fett on the 29th, we'll be talking a lot about that once it releases and how it's going to be going into 2022, which is great. That actually brings up us to a total of 5 Star Wars TV shows for next year, if you include the Book of Boba Fett. Now, beyond all of that, we already know that everything related to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is that they are not only working on shows like Mandalorian, the Ahsoka Tano series, and other TV shows out there, but they're also working on other ones that have yet to be announced that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration of next year. In fact, I don't know if you guys have been hearing about everything related to Star Wars Celebration. Hopefully it does not get canceled. Hopefully it does stay intact for May of next year. So cross your fingers, hopefully nothing happens. So overall, with that being said, we already know that George, John, and Dave are working together as this trio, if you will, to really bring Star Wars back to its roots, to really take advantage of the vision of George Lucas using Star Wars Legends, using unused material that had never made it to Star Wars Legends that's going to become a part of this new universe. So with that being said, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects and the new Star Wars TV shows like The Mandalorian Season 3 and the Ahsoka Tano series, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively working on a handful of new shows that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration 2022. However, in a recent interview with of course Jon Favreau, and that one that he took part in, he was eventually questioned about actress Gina Carano and her coming back to the Star Wars universe, such as in the Mandalorian series. Now, Jon Favreau went on to explain that I know it was very hard for so many fans to see Gina let go from the series earlier this year, and though I do have to agree with many out there that this was handled in an unprofessional way that could have been done more respectfully. As for Gina coming back to Star Wars, look, what I can say is this, is that myself and her are talking and have been talking and staying close and discussing things that are actually quite exciting. I mean, after all, she did a fantastic job in Season 2, and we were just thrilled to see her come on board. Now, as for her coming back, this is something that I really can't jump into significantly, of course, or into significant details just yet, but just know that we are talking about some pretty wild things that are going to happen in what fans like to call the Mandaverse. This is something that I think the fans are going to feel it was, of course, well worth the wait for, so in the meantime, keep on enjoying of what's coming until we talk more about all of that. Now, Favreau was pushed even further about Gina Carano getting rehired and how it could have a negative impact against fans that do not agree with her views. So let me just stop right here for a second before we go on to what Favreau said. We obviously know that there's a lot of fans out there that really have issues with Gina Carano. There's also fans out there that actually support Gina Carano. Look, I understand that everything related to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and how they're really trying to balance things out. I understand that there's a lot of fans that dislike Gina Carano. And by the way, that's welcome here below in the comments. You're free to talk about whatever you want about your view on Gina Carano. You know, people love her, people hate her, that's fine. You know, I think that she did a great job in Mandalorian Season 2. I think that she deserves to come back for Mandalorian Season 4 as originally intended, and so on and so forth. So, with that being said, Favreau went on to say, alright, and goes on to state that, hey, again, what I can say is I think that we have to get past this whole social media craze and just focus on the work and the work alone so that the fans can have a good time. Life is too short, especially for me, as I'm now 55 years old. I really want to make sure that I am not going to mess things up for anybody, and this is my true passion and line of work that I have been having so much fun with and have no intentions of quitting from it at all. Additionally, separate from all of this, this also falls in line with many plans for Gina Carano to return in Mandalorian Season 4 as a relative to Cara Dune. However, Favreau is fighting that in order to bring her back as Cara Dune strictly. Also, Dave Filoni will be a part of this big meeting that's going to take place that is actually going to happen sometime in January between themselves and the higher-ups. Mandalorian Season 4 is set to get a brand new title that won't have an attached title to it, such as Number 4, in order to focus on a roster of new characters to be explored. Further, of course, it's noted that Gina is also excited to return on 2 conditions. If both Jon and Dave are going to stay close with her on the development of shows, and 2, if Lucasfilm employees that gave her a hard time are not going to bother her this time around. Now, here's the thing about all of this, alright? We already know that Mando Season 3 and 4 are being worked on back to back. Not in the principal photography sense, but development-wise, they are being worked on back to back. So, as of right now, Mando Season 3 is in principal photography. Mando Season 4 is really in the very early stages. It's in the pre-production phase. So they're working on the concept art, they're working on the storyboards, and Jon Favreau's getting the scripts ready, and they already have the branding planned out. Like I say, they're planning on calling it The Mandalorian with a subtitle. No Number 4, no Season 4, or anything like that. Basically, it's going to be a way for them to kind of market it, the fact that it's not just about The Mandalorian anymore, it's going to be about The Mandalorian and others. So whatever that subtitle is going to be, that's going to be unveiled at Celebration. Really looking forward to that as well. We also have other shows out there like Star Wars Jedi Knight that's going to be announced at Star Wars Celebration. Another TV show such as Tales of the Jedi. We're not quite sure if that's animated or a live action just yet. We have the Bad Batch Season 3, of course. They're working on that in the very early stages. I mean, there's a lot at work here. A lot of things really happening with Star Wars, and the fact that they really are trying to really create endless content shows that they're really trying to take after Marvel. Now, what Jon Favreau said gives fans a lot of hope, and it does fall in line with what we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. There's been a lot of discussions, a lot of conversations between Bob Chapek, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and others out there that have been trying to get Gina Carano back for Mandalorian Season 4. Now, originally, Disney was forcing Jon and Dave to bring her back as a relative to Cara Dune. We're not quite sure what kind of relative, a sister, cousin, who knows. What Jon and Dave are trying to do now is that in January, that major meeting that they're going to be having, in mid-January to be specific, is to really kind of negotiate and in order to get her back as Cara Dune, because they know that the fans associate with her as Cara Dune. She is Cara Dune. After all, her character was designed after Gina Carano's appearance, and it makes a lot of sense. So overall, I think that Jon and Dave have a lot at hand here. I think that they're going to be very successful on convincing Disney that this is the only way to bring her back, and it is the only way to convince the fans that she is officially back in the right sense. And as long as they can pull that off, I think that we're in a really good path here, besides the Acolyte TV series that's being done by Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland, that's going through a lot of production issues. But overall, guys, I think that we're really in a good seat here. I think that things are really looking up for 22 and 23. So, overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.